Come. We are on part two of home ownership for financial security. My name is Lucy Gedaiga. I continue to welcome you to this channel. Please subscribe, like, comment, let's share. Let's not be mean. Let's continue sharing. So anyway, I hope you have watched the last video in this series, because this is, as I said in the last video, this is a three-part series. The first series, we were talking about why home ownership is important, why it's important for you to consider owning a home. And remember, by the way, this channel is a channel where we talk all things money, all things women and money, and we talk about many things around money, financial security, financial freedom, and all that. And by the way, if you have not watched the series on financial freedom, there are 3 videos: part 1, part 2, part 3. Please go back and watch, because in this video I'll be making reference to some of the things that I said there. So you don't want to float, you want to be, you want to sort of be be on the same page. So another piece of information is that, by the way, I have been doing videos every Friday, but starting last week, is it starting last week? Yes, I think starting last week, I started Wednesday Bible study. Wednesday Bible study, because we want to hear, and we want to learn, and we want to be able to continue growing, or in all ways. So join me also in the Wednesday Bible study. And as I said, in the Wednesday Bible study, we'll also be trying to learn what are we hearing, both from finance, even from financial manuals. I mean, the Bible is a manual for life. So I want to invite you, if you would like to also listen to that. And by the way, it's very, very inspiring content. So we are having a ride through Genesis. So I invite you to also check out what is there. Now, today, the purpose of today's video is last week we talked about the importance of having a home. And remember, I have been sent to the people who are in employment. That is the people I am sent to. Everybody is sent. There are those who are sent to people, to entrepreneurs. There are those who are sent to business people. There are those who are sent to young people. There are those who are sent to women. There are those who are sent to men. Me, I have been sent with very clear instructions. You will target, or you will work, or you will speak to, or you will minister as if I am anyway. You will work with, you will work with women in employment who are in mid-level management, senior level management. That's the category of people that I work with. Why? There's a big reason why. Because guess what? For 24 years, I was in a job. I was in employment. And for those 24 years, a considerable amount, probably because the only time that I probably didn't have a mid-level management position was during my first 3 years of employment. From my 4th year of employment, so basically for about 20 years, I was working through my journey, through my career ladder, from mid-level management to senior level management. In the last job I held, I was a country director for 12 years. So I kind of have a very soft spot for these women, and there's a reason why. The reason is, as I rose through the ladder of my career, as I continued to advance in that career ladder, as I continued to earn more money, the more money I earned, the more I goofed. Oh my goodness. Does it sound like somebody I am talking to? The more money I earned, the more I goofed. And so after I left employment, which was I left employment in August of 2023, out of my own volition, out of choice. And just it was actually 50 days to my 50th birthday. I mean, it was very interesting. So on 50 to 50, 50th to 50 to 50th, 50 days to the 50th is when I stepped out of employment. And having gone through that experience, the experience of my own journey as a person, as a woman, and now, creating doing business, doing my business, my coaching business, there are certain reflections that I have of the days when I was employed, and the experiences and the nuggets that I can bring to bear, and it might help somebody. And I know it has helped many people. Some of the things that I share, help people, and therefore that is why I am inspired. I am encouraged. I am sort of what would I say? I am moved to sort of share what I share. I said in my last video, I'm just a practical woman. Me, I don't do those. Me, I am practical. Practical is what gets us from step A to step B, and because me, I am a coach, practical and things that you can take action on is what I thrive on and it's what I love to do. Now, today's video, we were asking ourselves, is it really possible to have a home? Imagine it is possible. It is possible. Why? Because those people who have homes have one nose just like you. They have 2 ears just like you. They have 2 eyes just like you. They have a tongue just like you. It's not like they are from planet Mars. Apana, they're not from planet Mars. They are from this earth called Earth, planet called Earth, and specifically they are from this country of ours called Kenya. And therefore, even you, if you have that desire, and I hope that I pricked and inspired you during the last video, and I hope I triggered something within you that would say it is possible to have a home. Yes, it is possible. Remember, we say possible, the word possible and impossible. The only difference between those two words is an I am. I and am. Those are the only two words that make the whole difference of what is possible and what is not possible. The word I can and I can't, the only difference is a small apostrophe and a T. That's the only difference. And all those differences, by the way, those things exist in our minds. And when we decide that this thing is possible, I am going to do it, you will do it. Remember, as I continue to encourage you to watch the financial freedom videos, the first level of financial freedom is clarity. Now, when it comes to home ownership, you have to have a desire inside your heart. It has to be a desire. It has to be a desire inside there. A desire inside there. And sometimes you may not even know, because sometimes you may think it is such an impossible goal. It's such a far-fetched goal. It's too far. It's too far for you. It's not possible to attain it. You may not even think about it, right? And I know this because I know that I have been there. I remember, because I want to just give a little bit of my story in terms of home ownership. This is from a 50-year-old woman speaking to younger women. This video, by the way, it is not for older women who have homes. No. This is not for you. It is for younger women, younger people who are in employment, younger women who are in employment, who, by virtue of what I talk about in this 3-part series, they will be triggered, and I hope they will be triggered to be able to actually decide that home ownership is an important goal, because I will have shown you the possibility. Now listen, when we started life, I got married. I got my first baby our firstborn was born when my husband and I were still in the university. We were still boyfriend, girlfriend. Then baby came. When baby came, after baby came, of course, we sort of, started living together as husband and wife 27 years ago. By the way, my husband was my boyfriend from when I was a Form 2 student. So we've been friends for a very long time. So when we got our baby, of course, we were starting life at a very small little place, down there. And so we found a house. We found a small house in Kangemi, a Tiba house, a wooden house. That house, by the way, oh my goodness, during the El Nino of 1997, because my firstborn was born in 1996, during the El Nino of 1997, my goodness, flood water used to flow. It used to come, kwa mabarabara, it used to come and just land in our house, because our house was somewhere in, would I say, it was on the waterway. So the water would come land in our small, it was one room, land in our room, go to the neighbors and leave the dirt and the silt for us to clear. So we would my goodness, oh Jehovah is God. We would then, now after the rain has stopped rain, and it would stop raining 11 of PM, or later in the night, midnight. So what has flown through to the neighbor, since we have been left, and because we have been left now with silt, mpaka we used to lift our legs, by the way, to allow water to flow, to allow water to just flow. So we'll be, having floating legs. We'll be having floating legs until water flows, and then we would now pick our buckets. Me and my sister-in-law, who was living with us, would pick our buckets, and then, sort of wipe that silt, and my husband would go behind where the water, and begin to dig out the soil, the matope, to try and seal. That is where we came from. So at that point, if anybody had told me that we would own a home, I mean, I was like, what? So I remember our landlady. She was called Mama Wangari, a brown lady. She would come and pick and correct land. So she would come when she comes to correct land. And by the way, we were faithful. We used to pay rent faithfully. And how did we used to pay rent? From help? This one of university, the church, because I was still a student. My husband had left school. He was still, trying to find an opportunity. But because I was the one who was left in school, so we used to sort of I used to receive 17,000. Boom, that help. So that 17,000, we used to divide it, and we used to make sure that it lasts us for that season until the next boom comes. The next we used to call it chacha. The next chacha comes. So we were very faithful. We had a blue box. My husband had made a raised platform where we would keep a blue box. Those my blue boxes of the ones for high school. Those ones are blue. It was blue. So that's where we would keep the 17,000. So we would telling you, we were organized. We would make sure that the budget is clear. We are only removing maybe 500. That's going to last us for how long? So that's how we used to manage, because that was the only source of income that we had at that point. Anyway, so at that point, that lady, Mama Wangari, our landlord, may God bless her. May God bless her. I hope she's still alive. May God bless her. She would come, and when she comes for rent, she would tell me, Mama Shiro, she would call me Mama Shiro. Mama Shiro, by the way, one day you will own a home. I'm like, huh? Home. That was never anywhere. In fact, it was almost like, how? I mean, just how now? Kiaje na sasa? Kiaje sasa? Remember, we are still talking about the possibility that it is possible to own a home. So that lady kept telling me that, and in my mind, I kept saying, sort of, I never quite took it seriously. I never quite, I mean, at that point, I mean, you're so low. You are so low. You're relying on help, I mean, to eat. And somebody is telling you can own a home. How now? But of course she knew better, because she was a woman who had gone through, I mean, she had her own home, and she had these rental places. So even as she was telling me that, it's probably because she had probably gone through a journey, even though I never got to ask how. I never got to ask her how, because it was simply impossible. And I know there are many people who are listening to me here, and they would be asking, how? I am that Mama Wangari to you today, to tell you it is possible actually to own a home. So anyway, fast forward, I get a job. I am posted to Lokichogio in the year 1999. I got my first job on 1st of June 1999. So yeah, off to wherever, to where is it, to Turkana, to work there. By the way, my ambition at that time, I have written that, I have documented that in my book, The Unbeatable Spirit. My only ambition that time was that God would allow us to move from this Tiba house, this house where El Nino is coming, and flood waters are just coming and flowing over here, and take us to Zimmerman. Yani, I used to love that. I don't even know, yani, just the word Zimmerman. And the fact that, I used to admire people who would, who are living in flats, and they would have, that balcony where they could hang their clothes. Oh my goodness. I used to see them, and I am like, oh my goodness, I want to one day hang my clothes in a balcony. Now listen. So that was what I was yearning for, because that is where my life was at that point in time. That's where I was, and we all start somewhere, friends. We all start somewhere. So anyway, I decided I was okay. So for me, I went to Lokichogio, started working, and because we used to live in a house all together, we used to live as colleagues. So it was a big house. I think it was how many bedrooms? a number of bedrooms. And it was a 5-bedroom house, or is it 6? And we had a common kitchen, a common sitting room, so, and the common bathroom, common washroom facilities. So we would all cook. I mean, we used to live like a family, so we would cook. I remember that's when I knew how to bake bread, or even though now I forgot how it was baked, but we used to bake bread. Our bread, we used to eat it fresh, and then we would cook our meal after the field, and then we would sit at the table to eat. And so I remember one evening we sat at the table to eat, and there was this colleague of mine who was a vet doctor. Now, this vet doctor, he was called Dr. Njoroge. Dr. Njoroge, he used to do his fingers like this. I remember him telling me, "Do you know what, Lucy? A conversation just over dinner. Lucy, do you know what? Do you know it is possible to have a home? The same way I'm telling you that it is possible to have a home." So Dr. Njoroge said, "Do you know it is possible?" Lucy, do you know it? She used to do his fingers like this. Lucy, do you know it is possible to have a home? I was like, so of course, we are having a conversation. So I don't even ask how. He just comes out he goes to his room, comes with a pen and a notebook, and he says, "Let me tell you, you can own you can own a home, you can take a loan, a SACCO loan, you can own this." So he did all the mathematics there, and me, I am listening. Remember, I am a new employee. I am newly employed. I think it was maybe my second month or thereabout. So me, I am like, okay, all right. So anyway, we finished our dinner, we washed our utensils, then kila mtu, we went to sleep. When we went to sleep, I remember sitting on my bed and asking, what did that man say? He said, "You can own a home." And he did some calculations and he mentioned something circle. So that I began to actually think, and I took pen and paper and began to do the mathematics just as he had done. Just, just the way I replicated his mathematics. And I did, and I was like, yeah. Now, if this is true, if what Daktari, I used to call him Daktari, if what Daktari said is true, then it is possible for me. I'm going to try it. Let me try it. Let me see where this goes. So those days, because I used to work for Amref, and those days there were no phones, of course. In 1999, where do you get a phone? In fact, even emails, we didn't. Hey, people, there were no emails. By the way, how did you used to even communicate? Emails came later. I remember when I moved to Kakuma is when now I didn't even know how to do computer naming. That's when I started now knowing there are things called emails, and we would have a place where we would go in a computer room to write emails to our families, because of course we were working far. So there we used to communicate on radio. So the one of Charlie, that one. So I went. We had a radio room still in the same house. We had the radio room. So I went to the radio room the following day, and I called. I called the headquarter. So I asked to speak to the human resource, and the human resource came on radio, and I said, "I want you to be deducting. I want to give instructions for you to deduct my salary, this amount, so that it can go to the SACCO." So of course, and then I told them that I will fill the SACCO forms when I come down to Nairobi, and that is what I did. So they opened so they started deducting me 16,000. So I had told them, start deducting 16,000. My salary at that time was 26,000 take home. So 16,000 was going to the SACCO, 16,000 going to the SACCO, and for 10 months 16,000 was going to the SACCO. So by the end of 10 months I had 160,000. Then I was able to say, okay, that man said when you reach 160,000, you take a loan. So that time the figure we were looking at and we were working with was 500,000. Of course, things are different today because the value of the shilling has gone down. So what was 500,000 then, maybe I don't know whether it is the equivalent of 5 million today or whatever. I don't know, or maybe less. I don't know, but it is certainly not the value of 500,000 at that time. So anyway, so 500,000 was the grand figure. And so I was looking to get to that 500,000 figure, but I got to 480 after taking the loan. And when I got the 480, then it was possible for us to come and buy a plot here in Rongai, and the plot was costing 220,000. So the rest of the money, we did the construction. Even though we didn't finish, we were able to enter the house with the walls and done, with everything and done, but at least we had the shell. So what am I saying? It is possible to have a home. Remember, we spoke about the importance of having a home, the importance of home ownership, and today I am telling you it is possible. Why is it possible? Because there are people who have done it, and I want to tell you that don't even listen to me. Go look out for people who have either done their own home construction. By the way, if you ask me about issues of mortgages, I know mortgage is one route where you can be able to also like have a home, but I have not done mortgage. Me, I talk the things I know. I don't talk things I don't know. I talk the things that I know. This channel, me, I talk the things that I know. Me, I don't talk things that I don't know. But there are people, of course, who have implemented their home ownership goal through mortgage. You need, when it becomes clear to you that, when you get that clarity that you need to own a home, then it is important for you to now do research and ask yourself, which are the best, which are the different ways, what is most suitable. If it is about a mortgage, how does it work? If it is through circle loan, what does it look like? If it is whatever this other method of, I don't know, I'll just save and save and save and save, what does it look like? Now, when you have, the first place is decision. Decision. And once you make the decision, then you begin to say, now I have made the decision that I want to own a home. Because Lucy has convinced me about the importance of owning a home. And Lucy has also convinced me that indeed it is possible. By the way, friends, it is possible. Why? Because those who have homes have one nose, they have two eyes, they have 2 ears, they have a tongue. They are like you. There is nothing. There is blood. If you cut them, their blood is red. It's not yellow. Okay. Now, of course, the difference is what kind of home, where is that home, that's the difference. But the bottom line is home ownership. And we talked about the importance of that home ownership goal. And by the way, even if you own a small home, as I said in the last video, even if you start off with a small home, you can still, sell it later in life, and go to that dream thing, that fabulous dream that you might have, because dreams change, ambitions change, and all that. But remember, we are talking about home ownership as for financial security. And the reason I said about financial security, I spoke about it in the last video, that when you have a home, there are many things that happen. First, because you are employed. Remember, this channel, me, I talk to people who are in employment. Please remember, because you're in employment, your employment is not permanent. Should you lose a job, like I shared in the last video, the story of how I lost a job on a Tuesday, by Thursday, you are at least secure. Your family is at least secure. And the importance of owning a home earlier in life. Don't wait until hook of 40s, late 40s, 50s, after you. That's when you're beginning to say, oh my goodness, can I? By then, you have, the needs are so much. The things that are competing against your money are so much. But when you start when you begin on this goal early, you don't have a lot of obligations. Your family is still young. If you have children, or whether you're a single lady or whether you're married, your family is still young. The demands have not yet really gone up, and it is possible to actually say, for the first maybe 10 years, 7 to 10 years, this is my home ownership goal is done. And I will tell you what, for me, I was able to actually complete and finish off with the home ownership goal within the first 5 years of my employment. Now, I always say, I am vulnerable. I always say, I am open like a book. After that home ownership goal, that is when I started doing all the meandering and all the mistakes in the world. The mistakes that I do not want you to make. I do not want you to make financial mistakes. That's why I guide you, I tell you, I help you, and then you can continue to share. And by the way, this month I am running the Manage and Multiply Your Money Challenge. Please, if you are interested, just put in the comment section that you're interested, and I'll be kind enough to sort of share the link to that challenge. Of course, it's a paid challenge, obviously, but we will go deeper into understanding a few things that you need to be aware of, even as you go through life in employment. So, good people, that is the end of our video today, of our conversation today. Next time, next video, in the next Friday, we'll be talking about the practicals. Like we'll be saying, okay, so if I wanted to own a home, and I wanted to own a home through a circle, what does that look like? If the circle is the route that I choose, because mortgage, that's not a conversation I would have, because I don't have that experience. Me, I said I am practical. the thing I know is hii kitu inaitwa sacco. So we can have a conversation. I'll probably try and have a conversation about sacco, and then you can go and do your research. You can go and do your research, and once you have done your research, you will settle down and say, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. So I am hoping that this conversation is helpful for the younger people, the younger generation, the younger ones, people in your 30s. I hope this conversation is helpful for you, because I don't want you to wait until you're 50. That's when you're starting to say, hey, I got home. And Sahio, you are still in employment. You haven't still figured out your post-employment engagement. No. Let's journey. That's why I'm calling it home ownership for stability. Anyway, good people, until next Friday, I want to say thank you very much. May the Lord bless you, and may He put a light bulb in your mind that allows you to consider home ownership as an important goal. See you next time, and let's keep it here. And I want to see your comments. I want to see those likes. Don't be mean. I want to see those likes. I want to see your comments, and I want you to also share. Thank you, and may the Lord bless you.